ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्तपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदाकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं हरिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितां च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ब्रह्मण्य देवाय गोब्राह्मणेताय च जगदित्याय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये। आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय यमवदिव्याच विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामिनिति नमः। आचार्यपादाय नित्याय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरभक्तानां नमः। विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे विशेषणभाष्यते। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna is combined Jhulan Yatra festival, day 2. So we will be glorifying today Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavat person, Bhagavat book. So Bhagavat person, Srila Prabhupada. So today we will be discussing about Mayavada philosophy, what are its anomalies, and also that who all great personalities appeared to rectify the situation. The four bona fide sampradayas. So before I start today's class, I offer my humble obeisance unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, Guru Maharaj, our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, and all the Vaishnava Acharyas in the district succession, and also the assembled devotees online or in the temple, especially to our President is Grace Radha Das Prabhuji, and all the devotees here. Hare Krishna. So with all your permission and blessings, we'll start where we left yesterday. Hare Krishna.
Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna. So Jhulan Yatra, festival day 2, offering all these 5 days classes are offering to Srila Prabhupada from ISKCON. So Srila Prabhupada's Pranati, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhatale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Acharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Ashyati Deshatharini. So from this Pranati we are taking Gauravani and Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. So what was Gauravani that Srila Prabhupada preached? And that preaching was mainly to defeat the Nirvishesha Shunyavadi philosophy. So yesterday we did the foundation of that. Today we are going to discuss further why great Vaishnavas like Srila Prabhupada, actually Srila Prabhupada is not the one. So we'll be discussing about Sri Vishnu Swami Vallabha Acharya, but we are not discussing because he is branch of Buddha Sampradaya. Then Kumara Sampradaya, Nimbarka Acharya, Sri Sampradaya Ramanujacharya, and Brahma Sampradaya, Srila Madhvacharya, and then Brahma Sampradaya, Srila Caitanya Mahaprabhu. 4 Sampradayas, 6 Acharyas. Out of that 5 Acharyas we will discuss, 6 Siddhanta is there, 5 Siddhanta we will discuss. So that's how we will be going, that how all these 6 Siddhanta, out of which 5 Siddhanta was against Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Mayavada philosophy. So now today we will start with the prayer. Hare Krishna. As singing will be done in the evening, I'll just read the prayer. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugala Kishora Jeevane Marane Gati Aro Nahi Mora Kalindira Kule Ki Kadambe Ravana Ratana Vedira Upara Bushabo Du Ajana Shama Gauri Ange Dibo Chandanera Ganda Chamara Dula Bukabe Heri Mukha Chandra. So yesterday we took the first prayer, today we take another 2 prayers. So the translation is, this divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna, is my life and soul. In life or death, I have no other refuge but them. So Jhulan Yatra, we discussed yesterday that why in our Sampradaya we are worshipping Radha and Krishna. This should be the mood of any devotee. Vaishnava devotee, that they should be totally surrendered to the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. That should be their ultimate object of worship. And why is that? Yesterday we took Narottama Das Thakur's prayer that one in this life who does not worship Radha and Krishna is as good as he is drinking poison, and that poison is jnana and karma, karma and jnana. That means which deviates from the spiritual practice, like drinking poison and killing ourselves. So that we started in that jnana and karma, that why it is poison. That we took a brief, we'll continue that after this prayer. So in a forest of small kadamba trees on the bank of Yamuna, I will seat the divine couple on a throne made of brilliant jewels. So this is how Radha and Krishna worship is given by Narottama Das Thakur. In a forest of small kadamba trees on the bank of Yamuna, I will see the divine couple in a throne made of brilliant jewels. So yesterday, our celebration, rather Jhulan Yatra, the lordships were almost in the forest only, and today also they are going to do the same same Vrindavana atmosphere. And then I will anoint their dark and fair forms with the sandalwood paste scented with chuya, and I will fan them with a chamara whisk. Oh, when will I behold their moon-like faces? So basically, in Damodarastakam, we see everywhere that we should always behold the face of the Lord. That beauty should always remain in our mind, in our conscious. So that is the prayer. Or in other words, Vaishnava philosophy is never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna. So with all the prayers are leading to that. Hare Krishna. So that is the prayer. With that, I will continue now from where we left yesterday. So this also that why Radha Krishna to be worshipped. This is the prayer we took yesterday. The spiritual master is always engaged in the temple worship of Shri Radha and Krishna. He also engages disciples in such worship. So this is the basic principle that we are adopting, because our acharyas, our parampara is guiding us, instructing us, making us to worship Shri Radha and Krishna. So we should know the philosophy why Shri Radha and Krishna to be worshipped. So this one is our last shloka we took yesterday. This is from the purport of Srila Prabhupada Caitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, 7th chapter, 110 verse. Purport Srila Prabhupada writes, Tattvavada. The purpose of the discussions in the Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra is to philosophically establish the personal feature of the absolute truth. And Mayavada is illusioned by the material energy, describe the Supreme Lord as no form, or Jivatma and Paramatma to be on the one and the same level or equal material forms. So basically, this is where we are discussing about Mayavada and Tattvavada. Under Tattvavada, we will be discussing about the commentaries given in Vedanta Sutra by the 4 bona fide sampradayas. Hare Krishna. So now, we will try to understand in this Mayavada, what is the anomaly? That means what is wrong, seriously wrong, and it can mislead us. So first we need to understand. So here, Mayavada is saying that the Supreme Lord has no form and Jivatma and Paramatma to be on the same level. So first we will discuss about that, in which Upanishad it has explained that defeat this statement. Of course, Vedanta Sutra means it is the essence, the bonum summary of all the Vedas and Upanishad. That's Vedanta Sutra. As we discussed yesterday, in order to know what is Vedanta Sutra, or in order that the learned scholars to understand Vedanta Sutra, the compiler of Vedanta Sutra itself has written a commentary on that, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam, you know, the 10th canto is the summum bonum of Srimad Bhagavatam. In that, Krishna's real form is explained, his leelas are explained, but still the Mayavadis cannot accept that even the right commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So this is what we'll be discussing today and the coming days, that the Tattvavada means, as Srila Prabhupada says, to establish the personal form of the Lord through Vedanta Sutra. So now, why is it anomaly? Why there is fault? Why something is wrong in Mayavada? So all of you know this shloka. This is from Katha Upanishad. Because something is here that is obstructive. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bhavanam yo vidadati khanam. So here Mayavada philosophy says there is no difference between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. But in Katha Upanishad, it says the Supreme Lord is eternal and the living beings are eternal. The Supreme Lord is cognizant and the living beings are cognizant. The difference is that the Supreme Lord is supplying all the necessities of life for the many other living entities. Whereas in Mayavada, it says Jivatma and Paramatma to be on the same level. So here, if you see here also, the Supreme Lord is eternal, the living beings are eternal. As it's Atma, Soul, they are eternal. The Supreme Lord is cognizant and the living beings are also cognizant, but there is a difference in that cognizant. The Supreme Lord is cognizant of all the living entity which is created, all the system, but the living entity, the Atma, is cognizant of his own body. He cannot know more than, sometimes he doesn't know his own body also. That's why you go to the doctor. The difference is that Supreme Lord is supplying all that, supplying all the necessities of life for the many other living entities. So this is not difficult to understand. If the Lord does not supply air, water, fire, the main the basic principles, the material world will not work only. Sunlight, everything is coming from Krishna. He is supplying. But the living entity, he can only create artificial thing which is temporary, but not for eternal living. So then Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila says, Ekele Ishvara Krishna ala Sabhabhritya. Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller and all others are his servants. They dance as he makes them to do so. So Mayavada says Krishna has no form. There's no form for Krishna. Or he has taken a material form in the material world, which means he's like an ordinary person. That is why Krishna Bhagavan says, Avajananti Mamoda, Manushantan Ashadam, that people deride me, the foolish deride me that I'm an ordinary human being, but I'm transcendental, Krishna says. So Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller and all other is servants. Now here the form is already established by this Chaitanya Charitamrita, that if somebody is so-called servant, then he must have a master. If you have to say kingdom, that means there must be king, there must be subjects in the kingdom. Then only can become king, subjects, and the kingdom. The same way, Lord alone is the supreme controller and all other is servants. That means there must be master. So that master is Krishna. They dance as he makes them to do so. So he means person, do so. So these two statements itself defeat the Mayavada philosophy, the Katha Upanishad and Chaitanya Charitamrita, but we will go further to understand this. So now the question comes, before we go to defend against Mayavada philosophy, what is the effect of Mayavada philosophy? Because see, we have now Corona is going on. In Corona, there are two types of symptoms. One is a symptom and then is symptom. So when the symptom is there will be treatment will be there, or they will put in the quarantine and treated. But a symptom, what they'll say, you stay in the house and then you monitor, that's it. So the same way, unless we know that what is the effect of this Mayavada, then only it comes to defend them. What is the effect? First, we should know what is the effect. When we know the effect, how much damage it can cause to us, to our consciousness, to our spiritual living, for our perfection in the human form, unless we do not know how much it will influence this philosophy, then we don't have to think about it. Why we have to bother? We don't have to bother. So first is we'll understand what is the effect of this Mayavada philosophy on us, on our spiritual life. So this we will be discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, 7th chapter, verse 109, where Caitanya Mahaprabhu is discussing with Mayavadi sannyasis, and the leader is Prakashananda Saraswati. So this discussion, this verse we will be taking, that how Caitanya Mahaprabhu actually defend against Mayavadi philosophy and directly talking to the Mayavadi sannyasis headed by Prakashananda Saraswati. And then also we'll be discussing from Antyalila, 2nd chapter, 95 and 96. Actually, there is series of verses, but we are taking only 95 and 96, where actually Sarup Damodar he is speaking to Bhagavan Acharya. Bhagavan Acharya also one of the servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhagavan Acharya had a brother called Gopala Bhattacharya. See, this Gopala Bhattacharya, he goes to Varanasi and studies Srimad Bhagavatam or Vedanta Sutra from Mayavadi sannyasis. And when he graduated, when he was expert, he comes and because Bhagavan Acharya is close to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Gopala Bhattacharya also wanted to express to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu what he learned. That time there was a rule that no books written or any philosophy somebody wants to express Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, first they have to go to Swarup Damodar Goswami. When Swarup Damodar Goswami approves, then only can directly present to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Swarup Damodar Goswami heard from Gopala Bhattacharya, immediately got annoyed. So this is the verse where we are discussing. Now, we know that as Vaishnavas, yesterday also, His Grace Basugosh Prabhu was talking a little bit Mayavadi that we don't approve them, we don't consider them, we don't hear them, we don't encourage them. But still, Prabhupada, given the invitation for Krishna Balaram invitation, he spoke on a different ground. One of the ground which he spoke was Prabhupada can do it because he is powerful, can always defend. So, like when we are weak and our opponent is very strong, we should not fight. Bhagavatam says in the case of Indra and that time, Bali Maharaj, he says, first, that's why Indra has to run away from this one and he defeated. He said, this is not the time for you to fight with Indra because they are very strong by the mercy of the spiritual master Shukracharya in that first time. So like that, Srila Prabhupada was very strong. He knew how to defend Mayavadis or anybody for that matter. That is why his Pranati says, Shriyavadi, Pashadadeshatharini. So this we will take from Chaitanya Charitam to understand what is real Mayavada philosophy is and how much it can influence on a Krishna conscious practitioner and how it can destroy the bhakti. That is why we should be very, very attentive, defensive against it. So this verse, Prabhu, how can I remove this? 1 minute, I got it. So here it says, Gaura Vritye Yabha Bhashya Karila Acharya Tahara Shravanya Nasahaya Sarva Karya. So it says, Sripada Shankaracharya has described all the Vedic literature in terms of indirect meanings. One who hears such explanation is ruined. So we'll have to, whatever I have highlighted in another color, which means these are the anomalies or these are the things, these are the subjects which really destroy our bhakti. In the sense that Tattvavada Vedanta Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam is supposed to lead us to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but these kind of commentaries will deviate us from worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the anomaly. So Srila Shankaracharya has described all the Vedic literature in indirect meanings. Who hears such explanation is ruined. That means he is killing his own spiritual practice. Then Vaishnava Ana Eva Sharirika Bhashya Sune Sevya Sevaka Bhava Chadi Apanare Ishwaramane. Nice translation. When a Vaishnava listens to Sharirika Bhashya, the Mayavadi commentary upon the Vedanta Sutra, he gives up the Krishna conscious attitude that the Lord is the master and the living entity is his servant. Instead, he considers himself the Supreme Lord. So this is what Mayavadi philosophy was. There is no difference between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. So here, that's what here is actually Swarup Damodar is telling Bhagavan Acharya that when a Vaishnava listens to Sharirika Bhashya, the Mayavada commentary from Vedanta Sutra, he gives up Krishna conscious attitude. You know, His Holiness Bhakti Vishrava Madhava Swami was saying that if we have to bring somebody to Krishna conscious, we have to pour tons of blood. Then only one becomes Krishna conscious. And after bringing him to Krishna consciousness, if he hears Mayavada, immediately he goes. Actually, there is no surprise in it. He just imagine like that. To prove somebody God is not there is very easy. God is not there. Because, one of their main, why outside, you take those who come in the initial stage to ISKCON or any temple, their faith, and when their prayers doesn't happen or fulfilled, or they go under difficult miseries, they say this God is nothing doing. Why I'm going to temple? I don't know, wasting my time. They simply go. This is Mayava. We have experience in life, definitely. People who lose faith after going to the temple or classes, and what they did, it did not happen, and then they lose hope and then they leave. They drop coming also, or they leave Krishna conscious. That's why to prove that God is not there, not prove also, I'm making a statement based on the Mayavada philosophy. To prove God is not there is easy, but to prove somebody God is there, it's very difficult. That is why we say, can you show me God? Many times. So Srila Prabhupada used to say, do you have eye to see the God? That transformation which is required to see God, that we don't want to go. So when we don't want to go, then automatically accept what is easily understood. So he gives a Krishna conscious attitude, and the Lord is the master and the living entity is his servant. So this, I'm sure those who are hearing this class, they know there are many paths where they prove that I am God. Hare Krishna. He himself, he considers himself the Supreme Lord. The next one. The Supreme Personal Godhead is under the influence of Maya. Hearing this kind of commentary breaks the heart and life of a devotee. So here, Swarup Damodar Goswami is telling why he doesn't want this philosophy to be presented to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He says that this kind of commentary breaks the heart of the life of a devotee, because what you are considering, the living entity, only imaginary. Whereas in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the second chapter, Krishna begins the very first philosophy begins is the living entity is eternal. Is eternal. And Supreme Personal Godhead is under the influence of Maya. That means when he comes to this middle one, he takes a body of the matter, material nature. So the Supreme Lord can never be under the influence of Maya. Why? In fact, the Maya is under Supreme Personal Godhead. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavrta. Yoga Maya. There is Mahamaya and Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya and Mahamaya both are under the control of Krishna. So, but this Mayavadis cannot understand this. Or in another word, as we said, that Sripada Shankaracharya has given the indirect meanings. So why it is we'll also learn, because this subject matter which you are learning is to get the knowledge in order that our bhakti comes more stronger. Now, why this philosophy was propagated in the beginning? Like yesterday we had the introduction. Shankaracharya was not an ordinary man. Shankaracharya is the incarnation of Lord Shiva, and he is Param Vaishnava. And being a Param Vaishnava, we know Lord Shiva in the Samudra Manthan time, to save all the living entities, Lord Shiva did swallow the poison in order to save all the living entity. That's why it's called Nilakanta. The one who drank the poison to save all the living entities, how can he put the poison out? Because this Narottam Dasa Thakur says, this karma and jnana kanda is poison. It can kill the spiritual life. So the Lord Shiva, who drank the poison in the Samudra Manthan, how can he put that poison out again to kill them? One time is saving, one time is killing them. Why he should do? What is the purpose? So why this philosophy was propagated? So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, 10th verse, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking to Prakashananda Saraswati, because Prakashananda Saraswati He is the leader of the Mayavadi sannyasis in Varanasi that time. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the purport Srila Prabhupada quotes, in the Shiva Purana, so the authority is Shiva Purana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead told Lord Shiva. So in this verse, we will know who is the root cause of Mayavadi philosophy. So he says there, Dvaparadhau yuge bhutva kalaya manushadishu swagamai kalpitais tvam cha janan mad vimukhan kuru. In Kali Yuga, mislead, meaning misguide, the people in general by propounding imaginary meanings for the Vedas to bewilder them. Actually, see, Kali Yuga is an age of degraded age. And Kali Yuga, if the age has to degrade, then there should be the leaders who can lead the people for degradation. That is, in Kali Yuga, a political leader hardly will get a leader. They thought that Kali Yuga is progressing, that is their first business. Then you have spiritual leaders. Second is them. Political leaders take care of the material energy to degrade in Kali Yuga, and spiritual leaders will take care of spiritual energy to degrade. So here, Lord Vishnu, Supreme Personal Godhead, informs Lord Shiva, in Kali Yuga, mislead the people in general by propounding imaginary meanings for the Vedas to bewilder them. So the people has to bewilder what is the real truth. That is why we are glorifying Srila Prabhupada. All these classes, it's dedicated to Srila Prabhupada, because when the Supreme Lord has ordered that this age, everybody should be bewildered, but if somebody in this age is so determined to serve Krishna, and if he is not bewildered, then we can understand that how he is above the three modes or the laws of the material nature, or in fact, he is beyond this instruction of the Supreme Lord. He still remained pure, supremely pure. So now this is the instruction of Lord Vishnu. So then Lord Shiva confirms this. Lord Shiva confirms this. Again, in the same proportion, Prabhupada quotes. So this is from Padma Purana. Lord Shiva confirms to Mother Parvati, Maya Vadam Asat Shastram Prachannam Bauddham Uchyate Mayaiva Kalpitam Devi Kalau Brahmana Rupina Brahmanas Chaparam Rupam Nirgunam Vakshate Maya Sarvaswam Jagato At Asya Moharartam Kalau Yuge Vedante tu Mahashastre Mayavadam Avaidikam Mayaiva Vakshate Devi Jagatam Nasha Karanat. Hare Krishna. So it says, the Mayavada philosophy, Lord Shiva informed his wife Parvati, is impious Asat Shastra. It is covered Buddhism. My dear Parvati, in Kali Yuga, I assume the form of a Brahmana and teach this imagined Mayavada philosophy. In order to cheat the atheist, I describe the Supreme Personality Godhead to be without form and without qualities. Similarly, in explaining Vedanta, I describe the same Mayavada philosophy in order to mislead the entire population toward atheism by denying the personal form of Lord. So this is Sri Krishna Balaram Bhagwan ki jai, Sri Radha Varnish Bhagwan ki jai, Sri Gauranitai Bhagwan ki jai, Sri Narsimha Bhagwan ki jai, Jagat Vishnu Prabhupada ki jai. So in this Padma Purana, Lord Shiva informs his consort, Mother Parvati, the Mayavada philosophy is impious. So that is why our Vaishnava Paramparas, all Vaishnava Paramparas, they don't accept. It is covered Buddhism. So Buddhism, they rejected Vedas, they did not discuss any Vedas. But here covered Buddhism means we understand from Srila Prabhupada teaching that Mayavada philosophy, they are more dangerous than Buddhist because Buddhists at least they rejected Vedas, so there's no discussion. But in the Mayavada philosophy, the whole essence of Vedanta has been totally misinterpreted, and that is more dangerous than the Buddhism. My dear Parvati, in Kali Yuga, I assume the form of a Brahmana and teach this imagined Mayavada philosophy. So that Brahmana is Shankaracharya. In order to cheat the atheist, I describe the Supreme Personal Godhead to be without form. So formless. That's what's called Mayavada. And without qualities. Similarly, in explaining Vedanta, I describe the same Mayavada philosophy in order to mislead the entire population towards atheism. That means no God conscious atheism by denying the personal form of the Lord. So something impersonal, totally impersonal. But even in that impersonal, for example, Brahman is impersonal form of the Lord, all pervasiveness. But even that Brahman is considered greater than the ordinary living entities. But here he is saying that Brahman and the living entity Jiva, they are both same. That's the Mayavadi philosophy. Now further, Lord Shiva, he continues this. He says, Shuno Devi Pravakshami Tamasani Yathakramam Esham Shravana Matrena Patityam Jnaninamapi Apartham Shruti Vakhyanam Dashraya Loka Gahitam Karma Swarupa Tajjatvam Atracha Pratipadyate Sarva Karma Pari Ramshan Naishkarmyam Tatra Chachate Paratma Jivayor Aikyam Mayatra Pratipadyate. So all these are in the Padma Purana. Lord Shiva is telling Mother Parvati, he says, my dear wife, hear my explanations of how I have spread ignorance through Mayavada philosophy. Simply by hearing it, even an advanced scholar will fall down. In this philosophy, which is certainly very inauspicious for people in general, I have misinterpreted the real meaning of the Vedas and recommended that one give up all activities in order to achieve freedom from karma. In this Mayavada philosophy, I have described the Jivatma and Paramatma to be one and the same. See, Lord Shiva is Param Vaishnava, that means the greatest devotee of the Lord. But this philosophy is such a misguiding. He says Jivatma and Paramatma to be one and the same. So these are all in Padma Purana. So when we want to understand Mayavada, it's very difficult to understand. It's very good to speak also. What to speak about Mayavada, because we may think that we may be speaking or misguiding the people by saying something which we do not, feel that it should be right. But when we see this, we can see the truth, what comes from Lord Shiva. So he says that I have spread ignorance through Mayavada philosophy. Basically, this is very important because the material world, material nature cannot work if there is no ignorance. Then this material world also becomes spiritual world. If there is no ignorance, this material world also becomes spiritual world. Whereas Krishna has created this material world of ignorance. And what is the what you call how to understand easily? That's why this whole material world is in darkness. It needs sun. Like how this material world is in darkness, sun. So the same way it needs knowledge to come out of the ignorance. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. So here, but if it's exactly like this in prison. Prison is not the same as the freedom. There is so many different rules. People are in darkness. So many different. The same way because this material world. So he says, I have spread ignorance to the Mayavada philosophy. Simply by hearing it, even an advanced scholar will fall down. In this philosophy, certainly very inauspicious for people. I have misinterpreted the real meaning of the Vedas and commended and recommended that one give up all activity in order to achieve freedom from karma. See, here Padma Purana, there is one sentence we hear from Padma Purana, which Srila Prabhupada quotes. Padma Purana says, even if you chant one time Krishna's name, that's enough to go back to Godhead purely. And Padma Purana also says, even if one in intoxicated state, if he falls down out of intoxication in front of the Lord or the temple, he will get the same benefit as going down to the Lord and the temple. I'm sure you heard about this. So that is Padma Purana says. That same Padma Purana saying, Lord Shiva is saying the same Padma Purana that it's very inauspicious for the people and misinterpret the real meaning of the Vedas, recommended to give up all activities in order to achieve freedom from karma. Whereas the Vedas are not to get freedom from karma. The Vedas are destined to engage in the service of the Lord. That is why Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that what is the first starting sentence there? Anukulam Krishna Shilam Bhakti. What is the first starting word, bro? Yeah, that what's it called? Jnana karma janavratam anukulena Krishna Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. That first sentence starts with the okay, anyway. So there, jnana karma janavratam. Whereas karma should be given. Here also it says we are not trying to come out of freedom from karma. We are basically trying to engage in the service of the Lord. So freedom from karma naturally takes place. Jnana and karma, we don't have to endure separately. It will naturally take one engages in the devotion service of the Lord. But to engage in the devotion service of the Lord also need proper knowledge, which is called Sambandha Jnana. So to that Sambandha Jnana, all the saintly persons has put Vedanta Sutra their commentaries in order to get that Sambandha Jnana, whereas it should not be separated. So here, in this Mayavada philosophy, Lord Shiva says, I have described the Jivatma and Paramatma on the same level. Very totally misguiding. So now we will just all these anomalies of Mayavada will just summarize. Now here, if one has to understand what Mayavada is, this is Mayavada. It says Brahman alone is real. Jagat is mithya, not true or not false. Neti neti, illusion, Mayavada. Example, rope to snake. So you might have heard this. It's also in Narayaniam actually. This example in the beginning is given, rope and the snake. So that means in the night there is no light. That means there's knowledge is not there, ignorance, night. So in the night, the rope, we may see the rope and think that it is a snake. Now the philosophy here is that when you are looking at the rope and thinking about the snake, that means it establishes the existence of the snake, irrespective of whether it is a rope or snake. So Brahman Satya means here what it means that Brahman may not have form, but he is Satya, he is there. So impersonal. He is impersonal. So here, rope to the snake. Then Jiva, no difference between the Jiva and the Brahman, whereas the Jiva is part and parcel of Brahman. Brahman can also be, if you see in the Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, we say at the end, what is Brahman meaning? Then you'll see Brahman means he'll say even the material body, the spirit soul, the supreme Lord, all the many categories, it may apply at a different time in a different meaning, Brahman means, because it's related to Krishna. When Krishna says that even this material body is Krishna, because we belong to Prakriti, Prakriti belongs to Krishna. So there cannot be anything different from Krishna. So Brahman means it will mean everything because it is connected with Krishna. What is connected with Krishna? That's why Caitanya Mahaprabhu, the philosophy, Achintya Veda Aveda Tattva. Achintya Veda, that means oneness with the Lord and at the same time different from the Lord. Oneness with the Lord means everything is created. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadi Radha Govinda, Sarva Karana Karana, he is the root cause. So everything is connected with him. So Jiva, no difference between Jiva and Brahman. Then Supreme Lord has no form, whereas Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadi Radha Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. Satchidananda Vigraha, he has got a form. But his form is Satchit Ananda, eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge.
then Jivatma and Paratma to be on the same level or equal in material forms. Actually, this, if you see, this is imaginary. But if we go to Vaishnava philosophy, now I don't want to, because if I talk about that, it will become Rasa Bhasha here. So I want to, all the anomalies I'll speak as it is. Then when we come to the actual philosophy, we discuss. So here, Jivatma and Paramatma to be on the same, on the one and the same level or equal material forms. The Lord is never the material form. The Lord will never get material form. And the living entities also, the material form which they get is temporary, but they are not material itself. Like yesterday we discussed about the artificial intelligence. A man can create a machinery, telephone, aeroplane. That aeroplane and telephone also has got intelligent. It will work perfectly. But how it will work? It will work perfectly based on the intelligence which has been designed by the creator. But that telephone and aeroplane will never come equal with the creator, because the creator can much higher version of it. The same way, the Lord and the living entities will never be the same. And that tries to establish that living entity is only imaginary. Why they are saying this? Because today the living entity is there, tomorrow is not there. He is gone. He is gone. Only photo will remain for some time, and when the photo goes in the hurricane or in the flood, then that also not there. So this is the imaginary, but the living entity as the original part and parcel Lord, it will always exist. The Supreme Personal Godhead is under the influence of Maya, where the Supreme Personal Godhead will never be under the influence of Maya. That's what Krishna says, Avajanati Mamuda, Manushim Tarim Ashitam. Then, misinterpretation of the real meaning of the Vedas. So the Vedas wants the living entity to be connected with the Lord. Vedes sarver ham eva vedyu. In all the way, I to be named, Krishna says, but whereas this Mayavada philosophy is diverting totally away from the Lord. Mayavada philosophy puts one in ignorance. That means that the real knowledge is the knowledge of connecting relationship with the Lord. See, Krishna says that sarvasya chaham vidisannivishto matta smriti janamapohanam cha vedesa sarver ham veda vedant veda videcham. From me comes remembrance, intelligence, and forgetfulness. So what is this forgetfulness? Ignorance. What is the forgetfulness? The relation between the Lord and the living entity, so that the living entity can claim, I am the Supreme Lord and I am the master of everything I survey, and I am the Lord of everything that I see. 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks these verses in the demonic nature. He speaks there. So Maya, the one in ignorance, that means he can actually really get connected with the material body, forget about his original true nature. Then simply by hearing it, even an advanced scholar will fall down, because it is attraction to enjoy material body. See, when we understand our relation with Krishna, then all our activity become checked. It's like, to give a very simple example, that when a thief has come to steal to this temple, and if he sees that there is security guards, everybody is watching him, and he has got, when he sees that security, everything, or anywhere he goes to steal, moment he says there is security, CCTV, everything, then he will say, this is not the place for me to steal. It's better may go. Because he knows that if he is caught, he is punished. So the same way, when we know that the Supreme Lord is sitting within us, he is a person sitting in my heart and watching all my activities, and tomorrow he will grant me the results of this activity. When we see this, then we become, oh, should I do this? Shouldn't I do that? Should not do it. That is why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 3-4 places, that I am sitting in every heart as the Paramatma, I am the witness, I am the controller. Everything is saying in Bhagavatam, all the prayers they are saying, you are the witness. So why? Because when we realize that Krishna is the witness, our activity will be checked. Whereas here they are saying, here that's what they are saying, that simply by hearing it, an advanced scholar will fall down, because he understands that Krishna is not there. Krishna is a material person. So there is nobody to watch me. Whatever I do is fine. So that will become cause of his fall down when we forget Krishna. Certainly very inauspicious for people in general, because Krishna is the Bhadran we call. The Lord is Bhadra, all auspicious. Krishna is Bhadra, all auspicious. So if Krishna is not with us, where that protection will be there? Where our auspiciousness will be there? This is the end of the shloka. Bhagavad Gita, this was declared. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Patru Dhanodhara Tatra Sri Vijayapati Dhruva Niti Matirma. Wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna, that means wherever the Lord is there, wherever his devotee is there, Arjuna is a devotee, where a devotee is there, there is Vijaya, there is victory, there is Dharma. Vijay Dhruva Matir, then one more is there, no? Huh? Yeah, fortune. There is great fortune will be there. Whereas when we hear this Mayavad, which is totally diverting us from Krishna, where that fortune, where that victory will be there. See, all the Purana, when we see, all the demons become very powerful. Everything they could do, but at that what? All inauspicious for them, because they were not connected with Krishna in the proper way. Of course, who were Krishna killed, they got liberation. That's what yesterday Vasudev Prabhu was saying. Even one of the sannyasis was envious of Srila Prabhupada, but Prabhupada said, because he's a disciple of my Guru Maharaj, he served Guru Maharaj, still he will go back to Godhead. This is Krishna's mood. Krishna, when he kills also demons, he will take them, but it doesn't mean that we should become demons. It's very deep. Don't think that it will just go like that. Hare Krishna. So if a Vaishnava, yes, Prabhu, if a Vaishnava listens to Sharirika Bhashya, he gives up the Krishna consciousness. This is the ultimate. So who is the root cause? We will discuss tomorrow, because it's 9 o'clock. I wind up. So today we summarize that this Mayavada philosophy, how much detrimental, how much destructive it is to our spiritual life, and what are the causes. From all this Chaitanya Charitamrita, we took this. We did not take from their own philosophy, Sharika Bhashya, or from Mayavada philosophy. I did not refer to any of their philosophy. Only the 2 shloka I brought, which Prabhupada quoted. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya, only that. But all that commentaries written in Chaitanya Charita Srila Prabhupada or from Padma Purana to understand what is Mayavada philosophy and how it can affect us on our spiritual life. So tomorrow we are going to discuss that who is the root cause and how, even if one comes under this Mayavada philosophy, how one can come out of it, and how our bona fide Vaishnava 4 sampradayas, Rudra Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, and Madhva Sampradaya, how they put forward their Siddhanta, 6 Siddhanta they put forward, so that we can come out of this Mayavada philosophy totally, and we can perfect our life. And as I mentioned, I'll mention today also, that this Mayavada philosophy, which was spoken in the 8th century, that means almost 1300 years before, could not be wiped out till with another 5 Siddhantas. Still Mayavada philosophy is going on, and it will continue. That means we can understand the greatness of Prabhupada or the Vaishnava Acharyas, how much they care for the people in general to come out of ignorance and serve the Supreme Lord to become all successful in their spiritual endeavor or successful of their material life. Hare Krishna. With the time we'll conclude, so we'll continue tomorrow. The time we will be announced. Hare Krishna. Tomorrow evening. So tomorrow's class will be 7:30 to 8:50. 15. So yeah, 45 minutes. So tomorrow, that means we will skip Radha Madhav. We'll go to directly to the class, because Sankirtan will be there. Hare Krishna. So with that, I'll conclude by going down to all the feet of the Vaishnavas present here, and also offering this to my Guru Maharaj, so that it will please the Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Those who are taking care, please, anybody has got any questions, please, you can ask. Otherwise, yes, there is one. Prabhuji? Yeah, I will just stop share.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, can I ask, Prabhu?
Nirmal Jadeja raised the hand.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I cannot. Yeah, okay.
Hello. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hello. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, here I'll put on here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Dandavat, Prabhu.
Prabhu, as you explained in Padma Purana, that Lord Shiva told Mata Parvati that I assume a form like as a Sankaracharya to to spread the ignorance. But Prabhu, that being a Param Vaishnava and being a Param Bhakta of Lord Hari, how can that Shiva, Lord Shiva can do this work to spread the ignorance to the devotees, Prabhu?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So that is why I mentioned you earlier the pastime of Samudra Manthan. By the will of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva drank the poison. He did not consider whether that poison will kill him or harm him. He just do it. The same way, this one was done on the order of Lord Vishnu. Shiva by himself he did not do it because Lord Vishnu, Krishna is the supreme master. I will give you another example to support this from Srimad Bhagavatam. You must have heard Parashurama's pastime. Parashurama's father was Jamadagni, his mother was Renuka. When Jamadagni was upset with his wife, Renuka, he asked his sons to kill Renuka, but none of the sons ready to do it. But Parashurama did it. So later it comes in Srimad Bhagavatam that why Parashurama did kill his mother. So there the question, there the answer is Parashurama knew that his father Jamadagni could bring his mother back. Not only that, Jamadagni could make Renuka forget the whole incidents so that her relationship with her husband never get corrected. So that means when Parashurama executed this order of killing his own mother, he knew that his father will pardon him, nor he will come to any reactions for it, nor mother Renuka will also know, but at the same time, he is pleasing his father by his order. The same way here, Lord Shiva did it for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu, number one. Number two is that Lord Shiva is also the one who annihilates this material universe. Out of the three, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is maintainer, and Lord Shiva is the annihilator. Why Lord Shiva has taken this responsibility of annihilation? You know, annihilation, if you see in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is not ordinary thing. Living entities has to go severe difficulties, but he takes because he is empowered to do that by the Supreme Lord. Like for example, I give you our social example. A military person is supposed to kill mercilessly in the war to his enemies, but he is ready to do it. Why? On the higher interest of protecting his country. The same way the Lord Shiva on the order of Lord Vishnu, who is actually the beneficiary of all, he did it. That means Lord Shiva could see the benefit in that, executing that order. It is not that is the, because the material world has to work. Now you may ask me, what is the pramana for this? Krishna says this Mamupeti Punarjanma Dukkalam Ashashvatam Napnanti Matmana Samsiddhim Paramam Gata. So if here they do not undergo Dukkalam Ashashvatam, miserable condition, and everything temporary. Dukkhala means miserable condition. It is understood. Ashashvata means that dukkha also ashashvata, temporary, and happiness also ashashvata, temporary. So if one does not undergo this, that means the people who are miserable condition, they also become fed up this material world. And those who have got opulent, very opulent life, rich life, because it's temporary, they also get fed up. They also say everything is temporary, so they become miserable. So both the people want to come out of it. This is the reason ignorance is spread here, Prabhuji. It is a mission of Lord Vishnu. It's not the intention of Lord Shiva or Shankaracharya. That is why we will come tomorrow. What is the root cause? That we will come tomorrow, the secret behind it, further secret. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
I hope it is convincing to you, but anyway.
No, really, Prabhu. Thank you very much. I convinced, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji, our today coordinator, our president is here, so he will give the conclusion of this class. Yeah, no, conclude. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much, Prabhuji. It was wonderful class, and also it's nice to be here with you and video. So I thank all the this morning. The evening starts at 7 p.m. In today's disciple of Srila Prabhupada will be speaking, remembering Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada Katha is the 6th to 7th. Please don't miss. And today is being holiday. All of you participate in others also. So after that, we will have